is going on, guys? It's your boy Sister here, bringing us on a Photoshop tutorial, bringing us a cool little advertisement design, another little cool little episode of advertisement designing. Again, today we're gonna have more of a white scheme style today. You guys see the example here I have of a Razor Mamba. So what we did first was like a black and white scheme, which is pretty cool. I did like the exposure, showing you guys how to use exposure, which is pretty cool. As well as I did the black and white, or black and more of a color with like the LeBron James advertisement thing. But this time I'm gonna do something with a just basically white scheme. So that's my biggest issue with like designing, is I find it very hard to find any like design to do, or any tactic to do with, or technique is the right word I want to use, with like off-site white backgrounds. I just find it very difficult for myself, so why not today show you guys a little something that I know already right now. And then hopefully later on, we'll show you guys some newer stuff that I can do with like a white offset white background. So really quickly though, I want to say thank you guys so much for almost 400k. I know I said this like for the past like 3 videos, but I am very close to 300 ways, so maybe like 4 or 5 days from now. So I'm very excited for that. I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support you guys have been really giving me. It's crazy. Like 6 months ago, we were at what, 30k, and now 7 months later, or I think I hit 30k January 6th, which is actually pretty cool. So like what, we're gonna hit 40k very soon. So 7 months later, we hit 10k subscribers, which is very, very awesome. So I'm very glad I can, keep on growing. And for the past videos we've been doing, we get like 300 likes plus every video. It's just a very good feeling, and I feel like I'm doing something right. So thank you guys so much, honestly, and hopefully for 40k I'll do something pretty special. I'm just trying to think of it right now, but I'm pretty sure I'll get something going. So anyway, the video part, like I said, offset white scheme. So something like this, very simple. I just use a Twitter dimension. I didn't use my regular 1080 by 720p like dimensions for the wallpaper. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to use a different canvas. I want to do more of a banner thing, and also it just cuts down some more time. I can just work on a smaller canvas. But the same thing applies to anything you want to do in the dimension. It just the techniques we're learning, not like you don't have to do this in a Twitter header dimension. That's why I just chose to like a banner dimension, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, today we're gonna do something like this. Like I said, I used a Razor Mamba advertisement for this. You can see we just use hexagons for this. Very simple offset white background in the background here. Also like some pretty much like this little added detail to the hexagon in the back, feeding in the background with a cool little line just going through the little hexagons for added detail. So with this, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. It's not that hard at all, really. You just gotta know what you're doing. That way, you just I want to make sure you guys understand that there's like this color, working with color, and there's working with this like white and offset white. One of my struggles. So today, let's get going. So 200 likes on this video for our secret download below. Please don't forget to leave a like. I'll probably just put the PSD of this in the description below, so don't forget to leave a like. Let's get going. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and make a new layer. We're gonna start off with a simple offset white background. We're gonna do the same thing we did for the creating a simplistic white background style banner. We did like what, 2 weeks ago now. So we're gonna do the same thing right now again. So we're gonna change our foreground color to whatever it is, to a offset white. If you guys know what offset white is, it's basically like a division between like what, or in between gray and white. So I'll say like somewhere around here, what, DE hex goes pretty good. So I just want to make an offset white. That way I can just like tell the difference between a gray and a white. So that's going to do really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and just press Alt Backspace to quick fill that offset white in the background. So now we have that there. We can make another new layer by clicking that, or press Control Shift N. And we're going to change our foreground layer to white this time, solid white. And on this new layer, with a brush, 0 hardness brush, size is pretty much, I'll say what, 700 or so. I press Control Alt and right click, by the way, to bring up this little quick diameter changer. And also if you move it up and down, it changes the hardness as well. Pretty much I just want to click and drag over here, maybe over here as well. You can see the difference between the white that's right here and the offset white in the middle. That's what I really want to make. I want to make a distinct difference right there. So because I don't want to just use a regular white on the background. It looks very boring and very plain, so I don't want that. So I'm making another new layer really quickly, and I'm gonna go ahead and change my foreground color again to a gray, just like so. And then pretty much I'm gonna click and just in little spots here that are not too much, just so I can put some gray in here as well. And I'll put this opacity down to maybe what, 90 or so, or I'll see what looks pretty much. I'll say 70, or 80 is fine. Alright, cool. So, you can see here I have an offset white background. I'm pretty much done with that, so I can just shift click on all these layers here, and then press Control G to group them together, and we'll just call this background. Alright, cool. So, now pretty much what we can just do is work with the hexagons and stuff. So I'm gonna I need to trace the hexagons really quickly, just because I don't have a hexagon like stock or anything. So I'm just gonna, like I said, this is what I did before as well. I just typed in on Google hexagons, and I just got a hexagon and just penciled it out. So I'm just gonna do the same thing really quickly again, just for a second. You don't have to use hexagons though. You can use any really like shape you want to, but hexagons is a very go-to thing. It's a very formal looking like shape. It's just very nice to use for designs and such. So by the way, you don't actually have to only use hexagons You can, like I said, you can use any shape you want, but mind you, this little example here I have here, you can use this for more than just an advertisement design. Of course, I say this every time, but make sure you guys understand. You can use, like, let's just say we replace the Razor Mamba in the middle of this picture with maybe your logo, and then we replace like we replace the focus pictures and the hexagons with like work from your own that you have, like a portfolio of, like a banner. You put like banner designs in like the little hexagon to just fill them in as well, or illustrated logos. Make sure you guys like think of that. Like you can do something like you can do stuff like that as well if you guys wish to. Otherwise, use it as an advertisement design or whatever you want to use it for. Anyway, click back on this background here, and now I have these the hexagons ready to go. I can make a new layer. I'm just gonna fill it in really quickly, and we're gonna go ahead and get with it. So I'll make this what, gray, blackish. Yeah, that's fine. So all right, cool. I'm just gonna drag in a picture right here. So I think number 2 is what I have for the focus picture. I'm gonna drag that in really quickly. Shrink this with Control T, and then hold Shift in the corner. That way we can keep the what is it called? The aspect ratio. Is that what it is? I don't know. Like the ratio, so it doesn't change when you do this. That's why we're holding Shift. That way it doesn't do that. Put that in the middle. There we go. And if you guys are wondering what those rulers were, I press Control H to hide and unhide my rulers. You can pretty much just go to View, Show Rulers, or Control R, and then just pretty much it snaps, so you can just take one side. It'll snap to like the edge here. It snaps to the edge here, up and down as well, and also it snaps to the middle. If you go slowly in the middle where you think it's in the middle, it'll snap. And then you can put it there as well. So that's what I just did, just put some simple rulers there. That's why I can make sure I know where everything's in the middle or not. Alright, cool. We have the focus picture. We're just going to change that to focus picture. And with this little hexagon stuff here, this is like our main part of the design. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate them with holding Alt and just moving my mouse. Or just like left-clicking, moving my mouse. And pretty much I want to go through it like so. And just give it some awkward spacing. And I'll say, that's pretty good. That's fine, right? Yeah, that's whatever. Alright, cool. We'll move this over a little bit, though. Maybe up as well. Yeah, there we go. So cool. We just put some hexagons, just random, obvious, like, whoa, my voice. We just put some hexagons, just like, not crazy spacious, just enough so I can put that little line through it again, like I did before. I just want to make sure it's not, awful. Not awful spacing. That's pretty much good. So, like I said before, you don't have to use hexagons. What you can also do is, if you guys wish to, I say this a lot as well, let's just say if you wanted to, like, take your pen tool and, like, cut out some spots, like, cut out something, like, right there, fill it in with a color, right? You can do something like that, and I will put the picture in this canvas. This is more if you have, like more bigger pictures. Like, the mouse is very small. It's not like a picture, like, or this can be more for stuff where you're gonna put like your work in. So like you put your banner design in here, fit it in this little spot right here, so it fills the entire thing. That way you can still see the triangle shape, which looks pretty cool. And you can do the same thing right here, just follow the exact same shape, and just put another one in there. And like you can do that as well. Or you can just just take more of a spot there. And like you just go with it. So just make some little polygons with cutouts with your pen tool, and then use those as your hexagons. You know what I mean in a second. But otherwise, we're using the hexagons just for the example today. I'm just gonna name these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now is the part we're gonna bring some pictures in. So pretty much we're gonna just bring some pictures in. I'm gonna use number 1 for a second, and we're gonna use this one to bring it in. And then this is the very simple thing you got to do. I'm just going to fill number 2 in first. So what you do is you want to take your picture or your banner or whatever like logo illustration you did, or whatever you're going to put inside your shape. You pretty much just lower the opacity of the picture itself. I'm going to lower it down just so I can see below it, which is the shapes that I want to see right here. I'm going to say, since this is the advertisement design, I'm going to do it for the advertisement design. I'm doing it for the Razor Mamba advertisement design. So I want to make sure I go ahead and focus some pictures or focus points or these cool little parts of the mouse. So I'm going to just click on the cool little vent thing on the, I don't know what it really is. It looks cool. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to cut this out. You can see I lowered the opacity down so I can see what's in the rectangle or the hexagon, or what's in the shape. So pretty much all you got to do now is if you press Control on your thumbnail, which is right here, on the thumbnail, this is this little thing right here, you can see it selects whatever on the layer. So this little shape is now selected. So what I can do now is if I press M on my keyboard, it'll give me the option when I right click to select inverse. And this way, when I click on the picture as well, my little mouse picture, I can press delete on my keyboard, and it automatically deletes everything besides what's in this little shape in the middle. So now I can Control D to deselect, or right click deselect, and I can just hide this number 2 now, and this is picture number 2, pretty much right there. So I can put the opacity back up if I wish to, And now I can just do the exact same thing over and over again until I fill all these pictures in really quickly. So I'm going to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and just drag in the same picture. Why not? We'll take this, load the opacity down, and we'll probably like focus it on like the cool little backspace clicky buttons, whatever. And we'll control click on it on the thumbnail, M on our keyboard, select inverse, and then click on the picture and press delete on our keyboard. That's pretty simple. It's very, very easy to do. And we'll just do this over and over again until I fill all the pictures in. So number 3, we'll drag in this, why not, and just focus on the grip maybe. Load the opacity down. I'm going to focus it on the grip. Control click on the little picture there. M on our keyboard, select inverse, delete on our keyboard. Very, very simple stuff here. We'll do it again. We'll focus it on like something here. Maybe like the scroll wheel like I did before. Yeah, why not? Lower the opacity down. It's pretty good. Number 4, right click, inverse, delete on our keyboard. We'll hide this as well. Put the opacity back up. And then for the last one, we'll just focus it on like what? The buttons, why not? Like the little, no, the top buttons, why not? Or the, what is it called? Like the DPI buttons. Boom. Yeah, that's fine. Control click on the thumbnail. And on our keyboard, select inverse, delete on our keyboard. Boom. Cool. So, now we're all done with that. We're going to select all the pictures really quickly. And we're going to group them up together with Control G. And we'll just call these pictures for hexagons. Yeah, spelling. Oh, God. Control G. We'll hide that for now just in case we ever need the hexagons again. I'm pretty sure we will. But anyway, what we can do now is with these little pictures on the little, the pictures on these shapes, we can just shift click on all these, and we're going to go to normal and just change it to luminancy. And that way, so there's no like odd color in there, like the odd distortion color. And we can pretty much just load the opacity down from whatever it is to about 80 or so. It's a good little blend right there. Looks good like that. So now it's pretty much all up to you what you're going to do now at this point. You can either, like, you know, put smaller hexagons on maybe like the left, or maybe like smaller shapes in like the middle, or put like a solid picture behind all the hexagons, like cut it off right in the middle, dead slap, and like, you know, cut it out oddly. You can do whatever you want. Just be creative with it, but I'm going to do the same thing I did before for the example that I have here. So we're almost at the same spot. You can see that here. We're just working on the lighting now, so that's what we're going to do really quickly. We're going to go ahead on this little focus picture. We're going to make sure we can make a new layer. I'm just put a simple light on the top, just so I can even everything out. We're going to make a little bigger brush here. So with a solid white, just click at the top, just like so. Get a little solid white lighting going. There we go. So just call this light. And now it's just up to you what you want to do. So make a new layer. Why not? And I'm going to do that quick little focus light thing as well. So select, modify, border. You guys literally know this step like it's your life. I can see you guys using it. I'm very glad. It's pretty cool that I started something like that. It's just a little cool, little simple technique. What am I liking to do? Yeah, brush or eraser. There we go. Pretty much just like so. And as well the light. I want to show you guys how to do the little line thing like I did before. It wasn't a stock. I just used the pen tool. So what I'm going to do is just click, and I'm just click like so. Maybe I want to put it more in the middle. So maybe about here, right? Yeah, just like so. This is where I want the text to be. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow along the hexagon, just like so. And this is what you can do as well. I just want to make sure I fill the space out a little bit, so it's not so awkward looking. Something like that. Put this down here. It's just some odd looking, it's just adding your own little like stock to it, I guess. That's what you want to call it. Just like so. We can do something like that, and we'll stop it like right there. Why not? Alright, that's cool enough. Alright, so what I did before is I did not like what it looked like when I did the pencil. I usually told you to do pencil if you're doing with straight lines up and down, not diagonal lines like I have here, because if you do this, right click, stroke path, and you use pencil, I wouldn't advise this, because when I'm just going to show you guys when I delete the let me just put it on black. Pencil, if I deleted the pencil, you can see here, or the what is it called, the path. You can see with these diagonal lines, the pencil looks very very disgusting looking. It looks very weird. I don't know why it zigzags like that. I'm really not too sure. You can see straight lines look fine, but so what I do to basically counter that is what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go to my brush. So I'm going to press B on our keyboard. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to change our hardness from whatever it is to 100. And that way, when I change my size to about 2 or so, that's a pretty good like line size, line thickness size. With 0 hardness, there will be no fuzzies to it. So I'm going to do, or no softness to it. When I go to pen tool now, and I right click, stroke path, and I go to brush, it'll basically like simulate the brush's like size and hardness. That way it basically looks like a line. So I press OK, you can see that the line is no longer like really weird and looking. It's just very nice solid line. So that's what I did for that. I'll put this below the pictures, why not? And I gotta move it just a little bit maybe. Or I'll just move the hexagon. Which one is it? Number 4? Which would be this one? So it's touching. There we go. Alright, cool. So now what I can do now is I can put the razor, like, you know, stuff here as well. I can just type in razor mamba. This is all up to you after this. Boom. We'll just change this to next to light. And I just like took each individual one and just put a different color on it. I'll just do it really quickly. Why not? Green. What? There's already a green, purple. I'll just put both of them. Time consuming. Alright, so I just basically did that. I'll put the not the opacity, the size of it a little bit up. Oh, that color's way too light. What, I need blue? Yeah, sure, why not? I just put Razer Mamba there. I did before as well. I put like what, world's best gaming mouse on the bottom of it. Just some little subtext, just I want to put text and not like any crazy spots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just put world's most, I think it was advanced gaming mouse. Is that what it was? Yeah, that's what they said it was. There we go. Just lower the size down a little bit. World's most advanced gaming mouse. That's what I had there as well. And then pretty much all the other stuff is like added detail on the image itself. So what I did was I want to kind of like, if I want to put any like CC on, I'll probably just put on only curves. Maybe like a nice little curve. Maybe brightness and contrast. Like nothing really like to mess with color. You don't really need anything besides like brightness and contrast, color, and maybe like vibrance just to vibrate out the little color you have on the focus picture. Mess around with that. Yeah, that's good. Why not? Yeah, looks a little better, right? As well as like what? Like I said, hue and saturation, and then just put the no. What was it? Vibrance. That's what it was. Vibrance. That way I can put the color up. It looks nice and cool like that. Other than that, let's say, like I said, like the added detail. What I did was I wanted to use the stocks. I didn't want to use anything else. I want to use just what I had in Photoshop, like, you know, to use right now. So what I want to do is I can just take this little line thing and use this as a stock. So I can do is just hold Alt and click and drag and move it to different spots, just like so. Just around the canvas itself. I'm going to shift click on this, Control E to merge them together. I'm just going to lower my opacity down from normal, and it just gives myself a nice little cool little, what, technical looking stock for the background, as well as I can use the, what is the hexagons that I used before. I think these are the hexagons, right? Right, I'll just duplicate this really quickly with Control J, and then Control E to merge that group together. That way I have this group of hexagons now. Oh, it looks weird because it has like a little, maybe if I don't cut it, oops. Would it still be solid? Yeah, that'll look better. Alright, so just Control T on it. I'll make it just duplicate of this one. Control T on them a little bit, shrink them maybe a little bit more. I'll say like somewhere around here. Wouldn't look too bad. Maybe shrink, like what? Shrink it again. Will I move it again and shrink it again? Just put some. We're just gonna put some like just little stocks there. I'll do the same thing over here. Why not? I'll shrink it just a little bit more, and then I'll shrink it again with Control T and just holding Shift on the corner and shrink it again. So pretty much what I can do now is I can shift click on all these, Control E to merge them all together, lower the opacity down on normal, and then maybe just take your eraser, like a nice soft brushy eraser. So if I want to click and make the hardness back to 0, and just erase it, that's the brush. And then just erase it a little bit, get a little fade going on with the little hexagons here. You can put anything else you want. I'm going to put one more simple light on the top to make sure everything looks all nice and neat. And then it should pretty much just set off a very nice look to a very nice little cool little white scheme like background advertisement design. So like I said, use this as you want to wish, as you wish to use it. You can use the hexagons, you can use different shapes, you can put not focus, focus little things like I did before. Like I had like the backspace buttons, cool grip, cool little scroll wheel, cool little vent thing on the Razer Mamba itself, cool little DPI buttons there. You can use those, exchange those for like pictures of your own stuff. Use it however you ever want to use it. Also, I'm gonna put a simple layer style on this thing really quickly. So what I did before, I think I put a stroke. I made the stroke white, and I put the blend mode to overlay. So if I put this up a little bit now, yeah, that looks better like that. Drop shadow on a little bit maybe. Just like so, and then maybe a gradient opacity, soft light, and then lower that just like so. Just a simple little layer style on the middle. So you can see here, that looks pretty darn good just for a simple little white scheme background advertisement poster design. So whatever you want to use it for. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something. I know it's just like more of just like little techniques here and there, but other than that, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna see you for 40K what we're gonna do. I hope it's gonna be very cool. I'm still thinking about it. Anyways, comment out anything below you guys want to see me do as a tutorial. Also, maybe comment out any like little suggestions you want to see for a 40K video. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Since we out, peace.